It's a warm welcome here in our studio in Serekunda. This is Star TV News and I am Emne Jufadera. In the headlines tonight, Muslim World League commends President Barrow for Myanmar case. President Barrow praises Jinabas for qualifying for Olympics. Fire outbreak in former President Jammeh's home. Gambia benefits from the United States Department of Agriculture's $38 million cashew value chain. On the international scene, African Union leaders attempt to solve Ethiopian dam dispute. Malawi president to appeal court ruling annulling election win. 3 dead, many injured as plane skids of Istanbul runway. Those were the headlines and now the news in details. His Excellency President Adama Barrow on Wednesday, February 5, 2020 received a special envoy of the Muslim World League led by its Secretary General Abdul Qadir Ahmed Abubakar Al-Mashur at the State House in Banjul. Maria Madam reports.
The delegation is in Banjul to convey the gratitude and appreciation of the League for the Gambia's case against Myanmar at the International Court of Justice and for the significant step of obtaining provisional measures that will now save more Rohingya lives. Speaking to the press after the audience, Mr. Almata reiterates the League's efforts to peaceful resolution of the Rohingya case and other conflicts affecting Muslim countries around the world.
We come to visit, first of all, the President of Gambia and our Gambia brothers. And this is the first time visit. This is just to give our efforts and thanks to the President of Gambia and all the ministries about their standing of the Myanmar case and all, and also to announce our efforts as MWL. Islamic International League, that for this effort of Dr. Muhammad Al-Isa to make the peaceful standing and agreements and to solve these problems. And we stand with our Gambia in our this efforts and to show that MWL, as is the leader of all Islamic world, is concerning that to solve this problem in their way. And this Gambia Justice Minister already have been explained to us, and we explained to him that we will work together as a team with all the peaceful efforts with the government of Myanmar to solve this problem. Inshallah, all this effort together will be succeeded, and we'll see inshallah the next steps that with our agreement inshallah with Myanmar government and WL efforts with Dr. Muhammad Al-Isa effort around 2 years to solve this problem, it will be succeeded peacefully.
The envoy also expressed a strong desire by the MWL to work closely with the government of the Gambia to assist the Rohingya in Myanmar, Bangladesh and the entire Muslim Ummah in general. The delegation, comprising Director General of International Relief Organization, Mr. Abdul Rahman Muhammad Al-Mata, were led to the State House by the Gambian ambassador and permanent representative to the OIC, Omar Jibril Salah. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Maria Madem.
President Adama Barrow has piled praises on Gambia's queen of the tracks, Gina Bass, following her performances on Tuesday night at the final at the International Association of Athletics Federation World Athletics Tour 2020. Gina ran an incredible 7.14 seconds in the 60 meter of the World Indoor Tours in Germany. Bintakoli reports.
This is her latest feat, which is a national record this year, becoming the first Gambian to qualify for the Japan Olympic Games. And the presidency has not been left out in praising the African 200-meter women champions' accomplishment. We joined the nation in celebrating and congratulating Guinea-Bissau for her victory in the 60-meter women final at the IAAF World Athletic Tour 2020, which got her a ticket to the 2020 Olympics game in Tokyo, Japan. Last year in September, as a token of appreciation for making the country proud, President Barrow, on behalf of the Gambia government, presented title deeds of land to Guinea-Bissau and other Gambian gold medalists at the African Games in Rabat, Morocco, where she was recognized as Africa's fastest in 200 meters. She is a game and pride to the Gambia, the State House said in a statement. Last year, Guinea was crowned Africa's fastest 200-meter female sprinter at the All-African Games in Morocco. Her latest accomplishment has attracted praises from all corners in the Gambia. She is taking the flag of the Gambia to the highest of heights on the international stage. Guinea will also take part in the 2020 Olympic Games in Japan later this year after her trophy in the All-African Games in which she won the 200-meter gold. For Star TV News, I am Pintokoli.
A fire broke out in the outskirts of the residence of Gambia's ex-ruler Yahya Jammeh on Tuesday. The fire was reported to have been blazing hazardously. The commanding officer of Kanilai Military Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Akrubali, indicated that the fire incident started around the home of former President Jammeh. Zaglin qualifies in this report.
According to Lieutenant Colonel Kurubali, the fire started from Alakunda, a village near Kanilai, end of the forest, and entered through Wuni, the former president's home, since Tuesday, the 4th of February 2020. The fire was reported to have been very strong and blazing hard. But with the help of the firefighters stationed in Kanilai, Gambia Armed Forces soldiers, and residents of Wuni, they succeeded in putting the fire off by late nightfall, just for the fires to start on Wednesday afternoon. The fire was reported to have been raging and out of control. There have been no casualties so far, but some of the houses, including the 4 houses in the former president's compound, have been gutted by the fire. The commanding officer praised the villagers for their collaboration in putting out the fire. When the commanding officer of the Kanilai Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Akurubali, was contacted this morning, he confirmed that they have finally succeeded in putting the fire off. Jacqueline Coley, reporting for Star TV News.
The United States Embassy in Banjul has announced on Wednesday the launch of $38 million cashew value chain project for the Gambia, Senegal and Guinea-Bissau, which will be implemented within 6 years. The project was funded by the United States Department of Agriculture, and it is expected to enhance the regional cashew value chain to improve the trade of processed cashews in local and international markets. Ajaka Disanyang reports.
The development came after the launch of the USDA's Food for Progress project in Dakar on the 29th January 2020. The statement indicated that numerous government officials, including the Gambia's Trade Minister Lamin Jobe, as well as private sector leaders from the Gambia, Senegal and Guinea-Bissau, discussed the regional integration of the cashew value chain. Both the United States Ambassador to the Gambia, Richard Carlton Pascal Todd, and the U.S. Ambassador to Senegal and Guinea-Bissau, Tulinabu Salama Mushingi, emphasized the need for collaboration between the 3 countries. According to the statement issued by the embassy, Ambassador Pascal highlighted the importance of creating opportunities for producers and processors to boost economic development and working together to meet the needs of local and international markets. I believe that government policy that encourages market-led development and regional integration of the cashew sector through the private sector is critical to integrate the cashew value chain and achieve the project's goals. This will help stimulate economic development and incite the creation of jobs here in the region by meeting market demand requirements. He was quoted in the statement as saying. For his part, Ambassador Mushingi echoed the message by reciting the well-known proverb, "If you want to go far, go together." In turn, the government representatives of the beneficiary countries stressed the importance of adding value to their region's cashew sector, as on approximately 5 to 6% of their produced cashew nut is processed locally. Facilitating the processing of cashew nuts within the region will create new jobs and increase incomes, attract more investment to the cashew sector, and create sustainable socio-economic development. The workshop participants also discussed key issues for the cashew sector, including access to finance, market linkages between cooperatives and processors, organic certification, and government strategies to facilitate regional integration. The government officials had also used the opportunity to discuss regional integration and the three governments' roles in supporting consistent of farmer cooperatives, processors, investors, and financial institutions, discuss the challenges and opportunities they face, the importance of linkages between the value chain actors, and the support they need from their governments in supporting collective sales, processing, and export. For Star TV News, Ajakari Sanya.
KS Entertainment donated orthopedic medical items to Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, RVTH, through the Banjul City Council in Banjul on Wednesday. The KS Entertainment organization is established with the sole desire of giving back to the community through arts, culture, and pageantry. Maria Madam reports.
Honorable Pamane, the manager and advisor of the KS Entertainment, explained that they choose to donate medical items to hospitals because KS Entertainment deemed it necessary to raise awareness on environment and give back to the community as concerned citizens. The Deputy Mayor of Banjul City Council BCC, Omar B.J. Toure, welcomed and saw appreciation for KS Entertainment donating medical items to the RVTH. He says that it is their responsibility as a council to do so, but having organizations like KS Entertainment coming to their aid through the council is exceptional and overwhelming. Honorable Toure further encourages KS Entertainment to come up with more projects and assure them that BCC will try by all means to support them. Keba Sane, the PRO of RVTH, says that the items donated will add another value to the health care of the hospital and assure them that they will take a good care of the materials as it will be put into use. Meanwhile, the Miss Environment contestants also donated some sanitary items to some patients at the Serekunda Hospital in Kanifing on Wednesday. Sankunke TJT, Human Resources Manager of the hospital, on behalf of the hospital's management, thanked KS Entertainment for their well gesture for giving back to the hospital and added that this is what they expect from people because the government alone cannot do it. The patients were very happy upon receiving the gifts from the contestants as they were not expecting it, and they seized the opportunity to thank KS Entertainment for the great gesture. Miss Environment Gambia is a national beauty pageant event that seeks to sensitize and raise awareness on the most sensitive and alarming rate of global warming, climate change, waste management, and disposal. Maria Madam, Star TV News.
We are now going for a short break and we'll be back with the international news. Please stay tuned. Welcome back after that short commercial break, and now the news beyond our borders. The African Union Summit is looking at the dispute between Cairo, Khartoum, and Addis Ababa over Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam and the appropriation of the Blue Nile River's resources. The disagreement is over access to water. Ethiopia is building a dam which Egypt says will severely curtail the amount of reserves in the river. Several attempts to resolve the disagreement have so far failed. Al Jazeera's Mohamed Val reports.
There is no shortage of issues to debate at the African Union Summit. Even the host country, Ethiopia, has its own dispute with neighbors. While the construction of its multi-billion-dollar hydropower dam over the Blue Nile River continues, it remains at odds with Egypt over some major aspects of the project. Egypt initially opposed the giant dam itself. Now it's opposing the plan for the filling of the lake that's going to hold up to 74 billion cubic meters of the river's waters. If the filling spreads over 3 years, as Ethiopia wants, Egypt expects to face probably the biggest man-made reduction in its share of the Nile waters in recorded history. In 2015, Ethiopia, Sudan and Egypt signed the Declaration of Principles aiming to resolve the dispute and getting rid of a colonial-era treaty which gave Egypt a lion's share of the Nile. But disagreements over technical details continued to prevent its implementation. As the dam construction neared completion, Egypt pressed for international mediation against the wishes of Ethiopia. However, the three parties finally agreed to U.S. arbitration last year. They held several rounds of talks in Washington, coming close to signing a final agreement in January. But after visiting the dam on Saturday, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed told Parliament he'd asked for more time to study the draft agreement.
Despite great efforts by the US President, the US Treasury Secretary and the World Bank to overcome the obstacles, we still need to negotiate this matter further. During the negotiations, the downstream countries changed their position from rejecting building the dam to how to operate the dam and the water flow. We will continue to benefit from our resources without harming anyone.
Ethiopia says it has every right to utilize the Blue Nile waters that originate from its territory for both farming and the production of hydropower. The dam is designed to produce up to 6,000 megawatts. But Egypt believes any dramatic change in the water flows as the dam is filled will cause a crisis on its territory. Sudan, through which the Nile passes, seems the least concerned, despite warnings by some of its senior experts of a potentially negative impact on its water supplies. It's not clear what progress the AU leaders can achieve during the 2 days of talks, while eyes are still on Washington and lingering hopes that the parties will sign an agreement soon. Mohammed Val, Al Jazeera.
Malawi's president is to appeal against a court ruling that overturned his re-election. Peter Mutharika, who has been president since 2014, narrowly won his second term last year. The court cited widespread, systemic and grave irregularities in the counting process. A new election will be held in 5 months' time, but the president's legal challenge will likely trigger fresh protests from the opposition. Al Jazeera's Haru Mutasa reports from the capital, Lilongwe.
People in Malawi were preparing for another election after the Constitutional Court nullified last year's presidential vote, saying it was marred by widespread irregularities. But now they've been told there's going to be an appeal at the Supreme Court.
On 21st May 2019, we went to an election at which I was declared the winner. At that time, all local and international observers agreed that we had a peaceful, free, fair and credible election. In exercising their political rights, however, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera and Dr. Saul Shima petitioned the Constitutional Court with their grievances.
The May 2019 presidential election results showed Mutharika beat this man, opposition candidate Lazarus Chakwera, by 159,000 votes, a lead of just over 3 percentage points. Chakwera says he's not worried about the appeal.
They have a right to do that if they know they have a case, but you cannot really think you can succeed against 5 judges who had a unanimous decision.
The Constitutional Court judges said several people may have voted more than once. There was evidence of ballot stuffing and some figures were changed using typewriter correction fluid. It's the first time a presidential election has been challenged on legal grounds in Malawi. For months, opposition supporters protested over last year's disputed election. Some people fear an appeal could spark more demonstrations. Opposition supporters have criticized African and international election observer missions for endorsing the disputed polls.
A lot of what we saw for the entire electoral process is what the international observers saw, except when it came to management, transmission of results, and the determination and announcement of results. There were things, that people who come from outside could not easily observe, or if they observe, they can't quickly make sense of what's happening, because you require to be grounded in the codes, in the practices, and so you begin to put things together, and you realize that in this case, 2 + 2 is not equal to 4, it is something much more than 4.
The outcome of the president's appeal is likely to have major implications for Malawi, both politically and economically. Haru Matasa, Al Jazeera, Lilongwe.
A passenger jet has skidded off a runway while landing in Istanbul during a thunderstorm, killing 3 people and injuring dozens of others. The Pegasus Airlines flight from Izmir burst into flames and broke into 3 pieces. Last month, a Pegasus jet also skidded off the runway in similar weather conditions. Al Jazeera's Hashim Al-Helbara reports from Istanbul.
A dramatic end for the short flight from Izmir to Istanbul. The Boeing owned by Pegasus Airlines was touching down when pilots appear to have lost control. The plane veered off the runway, burst into flames and broke into pieces. Most of the 171 passengers along with the crew miraculously escaped alive. Many suffered injuries and were sent to hospitals. The 2 pilots reported to be in a serious condition. An investigation is underway to determine the causes of the crash.
Unfortunately, the Pegasus Airlines plane could not stay on the runway due to poor weather conditions and skidded for around 50 to 60 metres. It fell from 30 to 40 metres. 175 passengers, 2 babies, 4 flight attendants and 2 pilots were on board. 120 passengers have so far been transferred to nearby hospitals.
There was a thunderstorm bringing gusty winds at the time of the incident. The authorities closed the airport and diverted flights to different destinations. This isn't the first time Pegasus has been involved in such an incident. 2 years ago, one of its jets skidded off the runway at Trabzon Airport and ended up halfway down a steep slope by the Black Sea. All 162 passengers and crew on board were evacuated safely. Pegasus Airlines is likely to face further scrutiny in the coming days. Last month, one of its planes slid off the runway at Sabiha Gökçen Airport. Investigators said the incident was due to bad weather conditions. Hashim Al-Barra, Al Jazeera, Istanbul.
Al Jazeera's Christine Salome visited the swing states of Pennsylvania, which helped secure Trump's victory in 2016. Many there say the strong economy could put him on a strong footing this time, but others are tired of what they say are Trump's misdeeds.
Here in small-town America, you didn't need a psychic to predict how Democrats would react to the failed attempt to impeach the president.
I believe the impeachment was called for. And it's unfortunate that the witnesses were not allowed to testify.
But this is the city of New Hope in the swing state of Pennsylvania.
The Republicans say that impeaching Trump would further divide the country, but letting him get away with what he's gotten away with divides the country also.
And this sleepy town where the first president of the United States, George Washington, camped with his army during the American Revolution, is tired of politics.
I said, I'm not a Republican. I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm just sick of here and just trying to get him out. Yeah. You know, tell me something that you're going to do for the country.
And even those who don't like the president aren't exactly pleased with the Democrats.
I have yet to see, I think, true leadership come and say, okay, well, here's an option that you can grab onto.
A lot of the people we spoke to here in New Hope say they just don't know who to believe when it comes to politicians. But with wages rising and unemployment falling, the strong economy could favor Donald Trump, who won Pennsylvania in 2016 by less than a percentage point.
Because I don't think the charges that they put together were worthy of impeaching a president. Go ahead.
Would you vote for him?
Yes, I would. Yeah. And I voted for Clinton the last time.
But some people who voted for Trump the first time around say he needs to clean up his act.
If he keeps doing what he's doing right now as far as the economy and trying to help our country, I'll vote for him again. But he needs to really stop some of the silliness that he does and concentrate on his job.
With so much drama in D.C., there seems little hope here of bringing the two sides together anytime soon. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New Hope, Pennsylvania.
And before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. Muslim World League commends President Barrow for Myanmar case. President Barrow praises Gina Bass for qualifying for Olympics. Fire outbreak in former President Jammeh's home. Gambia benefits from the United States Department of Agriculture's $38 million cashew value chain. Well, that's all for this edition of the news. Please enjoy the rest of our programs and join us tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching.